Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
Happy Thursday and welcome back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast. Today, how God uses a metamorphosis. God's use of a metamorphosis. And what is a metamorphosis? Man, we're going to jump into that. And there's a reason why I'm talking about this today. We've got a book coming out soon on transformation. And, I've just decided to kind of talk a little bit about some of the things that may be in the book and just talk about these things that God has programmed within nature to give us. It gives us an ability to say, that's possible. So, today is Thursday. This is 8/28 Thursdays. And so on Instagram, I go live 5 minutes of purpose. You should go check that one out. And so right here on the podcast, this is about the metamorphosis. This is about a transformation. And on that broadcast I did a little bit earlier, I did talk a little bit about the transformation of a butterfly, which we will talk about. Now, before we talk about that butterfly, let's look at what a metamorphosis is, because a metamorphosis is pretty much something that we can. What's up, Brittany? How are you? We can see in nature. A lot of times we don't see it in our life. So let's look at a metamorphosis. In the dictionary, it says a change of the form or nature of a thing or person into a completely different one by natural or supernatural means. I love that, supernatural. So what we're talking about when we're talking about a metamorphosis, we're talking about something that's supernatural, like especially when it comes to us humans. But in the world of insects, it's normal for something to go through a metamorphosis. Like, let's look at one of the most well-known cases in the insect world, which is the caterpillar to a butterfly. That's a natural occurrence. That's something that happens. That's something that's just been programmed. That's something that God put there. But I found something in the midst of that metamorphosis transformation that I think can help all of us. And so what did I find? Transformation, think about this. If the caterpillar had to give up something, what did the caterpillar give up? It gave up the life of a caterpillar. I'm gonna say it again. It gave up the life of the caterpillar. So it gave up the life of the caterpillar so that it can become something better than what the caterpillar is. Now, here's the thing. We can see that in our lives. You come out as an infant, can't talk, can't walk, can't eat, can't do anything for yourself. And then one day you can talk, walk, do all the things. And then all of a sudden, you keep growing. Now, what we're growing is our body. Our bodies are growing. Our bodies grow faster than our minds, but our minds are growing rapidly. So technically, God has programmed all of this because I can't go back to being an infant. Now, God did say, he did say we should be like children, but that means that we should have a mind that accepts the truth, the mind that can, accept the things that, just make a child. A child just doesn't have that. A child doesn't have, I don't believe that. No, child's like, I believe it. Okay. So we got to be like children. But God shows us in that process that we're always giving up a lower nature for a higher nature. So God uses a metamorphosis. Now, I also saw another thing inside of the transformation metamorphosis, angle that we're talking about today. I saw death. I saw death recently. I saw that a friend of mine posted that his daughter died. I don't know the circumstances. She wasn't young. She probably was in her late 20s, could be 30. But he posted that she passed away. I also saw when they were praying for her, praying for a miracle. So what they were praying for was a supernatural thing to occur. So in that particular regard, the supernatural didn't happen. Now here's the part of the supernatural that we don't get to see. We don't get to see the impact of how the death affects the people around. See, I can speak on this topic because I've been here and I've been exactly where he is. I've lost a loved one, prayed for the supernatural. The supernatural didn't come and bring back the loved one, but I discovered something in the process. See, I discovered that the metamorphosis didn't occur on the deathbed. It didn't occur where that person beat the odds and came back. It didn't occur there. The metamorphosis occurred in the lives around. Now, I'm only going to speak on one life. That's mine. So my life totally changed, and what I had to do was become the metamorphosis. I had to die to the person that I was to become the person that God said I would be. Wow. So let's think about this. God uses metamorphosis. But the thing is, a lot of times the part that we want him to bring the person back from the dead. We want him to, to get the person off the deathbed and make us feel good and make that person come back. But here's the thing: when we die, where do you go? Look, at the end of the day, it says everybody's going to go back to where they're supposed to go to. Your spirit's going back to God. God owns your spirit. Now, I'm not going to get into logistics of heaven and earth and all that good stuff. What's the person doing? I ain't got nothing to do with that. But your spirit's going to go back to God. So here's what's interesting. A lot of people are afraid of death, but you're just going to go to heaven. So some people won't like this. Look, the body is dead. So the body, remember, the life is not the body. I'm gonna say it again. Life is not the body. The body is literally just a manifestation that we have to live in on this planet, like the butterfly. The butterfly was given the spirit of the caterpillar. That's what the butterfly got. So our bodies was given our spirit so our bodies can operate. But when the body can no longer function, then the actual person on the inside goes back to where it came from. Where's that? You know what that is. So God uses these metamorphoses to teach us lessons. At least I'm learning. See, because at the end of the day, I can look outside and I can see a tree that is in October, November, all the leaves are going to come down. The trees are going to look dead. But then all of a sudden, the trees are going to come alive in March. All of a sudden, March, April, all of a sudden, the tree is back again. Then God is telling us, hey, guys, nothing ever dies. Nothing dies. The things that die permanently are only the things that God decides will die permanently. A lot of people that don't like to, how can I say this? Some people who are atheists, may not believe in God, all that good stuff. They have a problem. They have a problem with choice. I'm gonna say this again. They have a problem with choice. They think that God has to step in and change things. I'm gonna say it again. Atheists and people who don't believe in God and are upset about how God can allow things to happen in the world, they are upset because they want God to come in and change things. God is not coming in to do anything. Why? Because God imagine this. Imagine your parent buy you a car and it's yours. This is yours. You go live where you want. You drive the car the way you want. They don't own the car. Your name is on the car. The parent's like, hey, it's yours. And then you go have an accident. You beat the car up. And next thing you know, parent has nothing to do with the car, man. That was your car. They just bought it for you. That's the same thing God did with his planet. He just gave us the planet. Here's your planet, guys. Go and do what you will. Now, once sin came in, then he's like, hey, you done messed up. So you're going to get what you get. So the part of the metamorphosis that we're seeing in our world is a bad one. It's one that we're seeing people Now, some people may not like this, but it's not going to bother me any. They're saying that, oh, it's not just male and female. It's not just man and woman. Oh, there's anything you want to be. Oh, really? Is that so? So God is so good that he's like, I ain't going to interfere in y'all stupidness. It's just going to hurt you later. All right, let me get back to my point. I think I was on the rant. So God uses a metamorphosis, and he uses a metamorphosis, a transformation, so that two things are going to happen. Sometimes there's a supernatural thing that happens that literally takes the thing that's being metamorphosized into something else. Or on the other side, there's a supernatural thing that happens that doesn't take the thing, like say for instance in a death, it doesn't take the person, it allows the person to die, but what it does is it allows another person to live. I think that's biblical. That we can find that Jesus died death so that we could live. See, the thing about transformation and metamorphosis is, it also says that, think about this, a change of a form or nature of a thing or a person into a completely different one. Completely different. Think about a transformation, a metamorphosis, if you will, of yourself. What do you think about that today? Of yourself. Like, who is, if I could be a person, if I could be the person that, not the person that person is, if I could be the person that I know I am, then what that means is it's saying that it's a completely different person. The old person's gotta go. Just say bye. Just say to yourself, you know what, Dan, that old Jay who likes, whatever he likes, or does whatever he does that he shouldn't be doing, or thinks the way that he's thinking that he shouldn't be thinking. And, and sometimes your eyes tell you lies. And man, if I could just get rid of okay, I got to die. That person's got to go. And I got to bring in this new guy. This new guy, all he's thinking about is how to be better. Really? That's literally, man, I'm reading this book. I've been going through a bunch of books lately. So I'm reading this book. It's called 10X is Better Than 2X, written by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And he says something in the book that is starting this circle, this transformation. And in the book, he's talking about how the 10X person, 10X is not just going harder. I used to think that. See, Grant Cardone, he introduced 10X and it's right. Now, what he's teaching is totally different than what Grant Cardone teaches. So he's teaching this concept that 10X is literally getting rid of everything else, getting rid of everything that you're not supposed to be looking at. So it's kind of like if I'm looking at my business, I've got only thing I'm looking at is the specific part of the business that I'm going to move the needle on. Literally, that's all I'm looking at. So anything that comes into peer view, I just get rid of it. And he gives an amazing story about Michelangelo and how Michelangelo became the person that he is and how he was not an artist. None of who Michelangelo was when he was 17 years old. He did not have any ability except he decided that he would do something. And he just did it. And he metamorphosized. He transformed. He turned into a completely different person. And God used Michelangelo too. Why? Michelangelo's story from the that was like late 1400s, early 1500s. What? We're in 2023 and his story is on transformation and it's helping people transform. You don't think God uses everything that he can to get to people? He's like, man, I got one right here. He's going to be amazing. People in 2023 will use and will need his transformation. We'll need his metamorphosis. Last thing before I let you go. What are we leaving? What transformation will be known about your life? Say it again. What transformation will be known about your life? See, because if we die and there's no transformation known about our life, I'm not saying that our lives won't affect somebody else, because like my brother did not have a transformation in his life. But what happened was the transformation that he could have got was transferred to me. Then I had to decide, am I going to use his life to change my life? I said, this is good. God can use every transformation, every metamorphosis, every death, every circumstance, everything that we can ever think about. God can use it. And see, here's the thing. God can use it, but will we allow him to use it? Will we allow him to use it? So, what are we leaving? Are we leaving a transformation? Or are we going, or do we have to die for somebody else to be transformed? You choose. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. Be on the lookout. The book's going to come out soon. I'm going to be posting links so that you can purchase early, get signed copies, all that good stuff. This book is going to change. I think it's going to change a number of people's lives when it comes to transforming in the person to the people that God's called them to be. God told me to write the book, so I decided to write it. I just did it, and it's going to come, and I believe that book is what God is going to use to transform a lot of people's lives. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.